Good morning, Seattle Baptist Church. Thank you for tuning in for this day-by-day video. I trust you all had a wonderful weekend and that the services yesterday were an encouragement to you as they were to me. And I'm looking forward to talking to you this morning about a word that's found in the Bible. It's the word Selah. You find it only in the Old Testament. It's used 75 times. It has two different meanings. Number one, it's used as a noun. When you read 2 Kings, you read about a place that Israel literally went to. And it was a valley where they fought. And then the other 74 times you find it in the Bible, in Psalms and Habakkuk chapter 3, it's used as a verb. And it literally means to sit down and think about it. Sit down and think about it. A couple years ago, we had a man preach in our church, Brother Dan Patrick, who's a retired pastor. Brother Dan Patrick has been a mentor to our pastor. And I remember a couple things from his sermon. Number one, I remember how much energy this man had. He's an older man, he's retired, but he was on fire, and he was full of enthusiasm and passion, and that really took me by surprise. And then secondly, he preached on the word Selah, we're going to talk about this morning. And he really illustrated in an excellent way what Selah means. The word means to sit down and think about it. And during his sermon, he paced back and forth, he was preaching, and then he would at times pause and he would sit on those chairs that are on our platform and he would smile on his face and look at us and he would say, Selah. And that's what it means to sit down and think about who God is, what God is doing. Every time you see the word Selah in the Bible, it always takes place right after an attribute of God is mentioned or an event is recorded or an action is recorded of what God did for Israel. And Psalms chapter 3 is the very first psalm that has the word Selah in it. And I want to read just a few verses to you this morning from Psalm 3 and make some application this morning. Psalm chapter 3, verse 2 says this, Many there be which say of my soul, there is no help for him in God, Selah. Well, we just know that that's not true because we know that God is a present help for us in the time of need and in trouble. We know that God said he'll never leave us nor forsake us. So even though many people would say that, it's not true because God is here to help us. Verse number 4, I cried unto the Lord with my voice, and he heard me out of his holy hill, Selah. We know God hears our prayers. He invites us to come boldly to the throne of grace. He said, Call unto me, and I'll answer thee and show thee great and mighty things which thou knowest not. Jesus said, Ask in my name, and you shall receive. And then finally, verse number 8, Salvation belongeth unto the Lord. Thy blessing is upon thy people, Selah. We know that salvation, deliverance comes from God himself. We know that Jesus saves. And we know that God blesses us and loadeth us daily with benefits. So today my word is going to be Selah. And I'm going to take some time to sit down and just think about the Lord and his attributes and his goodness and his grace and his faithfulness and his love and his compassion and his mercy and his word. And I want to encourage you today, if you can make some time to sit down and think about the Lord. It's great to talk to you today. Hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you soon.